My beloved child, if these words have found you today, it is not by accident. I know the quiet questions that have been living inside your heart. I know how many times you have wondered why certain relationships faded, why opportunities disappeared, and why the love you hoped for seemed just beyond your reach. There were moments when you felt forgotten, moments when the waiting became so heavy that you questioned whether your future was truly unfolding at all. But listen carefully, because something much greater has been happening behind the scenes than you could ever imagine. What looked like delay was not punishment. What felt like rejection was not abandonment. While you were searching for answers, an invisible hand was guiding events, moving pieces, and reshaping paths that neither you nor your soulmate could fully see. My child, there were seasons when the person connected to your destiny was traveling in the wrong direction. They were making choices based on confusion, fear, or wounds they had not yet healed. Yet just as a river bends around rocks on its way to the ocean, their journey was quietly being redirected. Situations changed unexpectedly. Plans that seemed certain suddenly fell apart. People entered and exited their life at precisely the right moments. None of it was random. The universe was rerouting their path, not to harm them, but to protect the future that was being prepared. In the same way, many of your own disappointments were actually hidden blessings. Every closed door carried a purpose. Every setback was shaping your heart, strengthening your spirit, and preparing you for something deeper than you could understand at the time. Think of a seed buried beneath the soil during winter. It cannot see the sunlight above. It cannot understand why it remains surrounded by darkness. Yet beneath the surface, roots are growing stronger every day. That is what has been happening in your life. While you thought nothing was changing, transformation was taking place within you. Patience was growing. Wisdom was developing. Strength was being built through every challenge you faced. And the same process was unfolding in the life of your soulmate. This message was meant for you because the season is beginning to shift. The long winter is not meant to last forever. New paths are opening. New possibilities are awakening. Stay close, my child, because what I am about to reveal next may help you understand why every delay carried meaning and why the future is moving toward you faster than you realize. My dear child, there is something you must understand about destiny. Many people believe it moves in a straight line, but that is rarely how transformation happens. A gardener does not rush a flower into bloom, and a tree does not become strong in a single season. Growth requires time, hidden work, and moments that seem quiet from the outside. In the same way, the connection destined for your life has been developing beneath the surface. There were times when you felt forgotten, when you looked around and saw no evidence that anything was changing. Yet while your eyes saw stillness, movement was taking place beyond your view. Circumstances were being rearranged. Hearts were being softened. Lessons were being learned. The waiting was not empty. It was filled with preparation. Every challenge you faced was shaping qualities that will matter later. Every disappointment taught you something your future self would need. Nothing was meaningless, and nothing was wasted. There were also moments when your soulmate stood at important crossroads. They faced decisions that could have carried them far from the purpose prepared for them. Some choices seemed attractive because they promised quick comfort, yet they lacked the depth their soul truly desired. Like a traveler following a map through heavy fog, they could not always see where the road would lead. Still, guidance was present. Unexpected events interrupted certain plans. Relationships that seemed permanent began to fade. Opportunities that once looked perfect suddenly lost their appeal. At the time, they may have viewed these experiences as setbacks, but they were actually signs of redirection. A river does not complain when the landscape changes its course. It continues flowing toward the destination it was created to reach. In the same way, their journey continued moving toward the place where purpose and timing would eventually meet. My precious one, I know there have been nights when loneliness felt heavier than hope. I know there were moments when you questioned whether anyone truly understood the desires hidden inside your heart. But remember the roots of a mighty tree. Before branches stretch toward the sky, roots grow deep into unseen ground. The strength that later withstands storms is developed in places nobody notices. That is what has been happening within you. Compassion has deepened. Wisdom has matured. Resilience has taken root. You are not the same person you were when this journey began, and neither is the one whose path is being guided toward yours. The season ahead is not simply about finding someone. It is about stepping into a new chapter shaped by everything you have learned along the way. Listen closely, my child, because the next part of this story reveals why certain encounters were delayed and why the timing now carries a significance greater than you ever imagined. My beloved child, one of the greatest mysteries of your journey is that some of the things you prayed hardest for were not meant to happen when you wanted them to. There were people you wished would stay. There were opportunities you hoped would work out. There were moments when you begged for a different outcome. Yet looking back, even if only for a moment, you can begin to see how certain endings protected you from paths that were never aligned with your purpose. What felt like heartbreak was sometimes a rescue. What felt like silence was sometimes guidance. Imagine a sailor trying to leave the harbor during a violent storm. If the winds prevent the journey, it may feel frustrating at first. But later, the sailor realizes the delay saved them from disaster. In the same way, many of the pauses and detours in your life carried hidden mercy that you could not recognize at the time. Your soulmate experienced similar moments. There were situations they believed would define their future. There were people they thought they could never walk away from. There were dreams they pursued with complete confidence. Yet time revealed that not everything they wanted was what they truly needed. Little by little, life began removing distractions that stood in the way of deeper growth. Some lessons arrived gently, while others arrived through challenges that forced reflection. Like autumn leaves falling from a tree, things that had served their purpose began to drift away. It was not because they were being punished. It was because new growth could not emerge while old attachments continued holding on. Sometimes the universe clears space before introducing something meaningful. Sometimes the road must be emptied before a new traveler appears on the horizon. The changes happening in their life were not random events. They were preparations for a future they could not yet see. My child, this is why you must not lose hope during seasons of uncertainty. A canyon is not carved in a single day. It is shaped by a river that continues flowing, even when progress seems invisible. Your life has been moving forward in the same way. Every experience, every lesson, every victory, and every disappointment has contributed to the person you are becoming. The loneliness did not destroy you. The waiting did not break you. The unanswered questions did not stop your growth. Instead, they strengthened parts of your spirit that would have remained undeveloped otherwise. I have been watching over you through every chapter, even the ones that felt empty. And now, the story is beginning to enter a different season. The pieces that once seemed scattered are slowly moving toward alignment. Trust the process, my precious one. The path ahead holds answers that the path behind could never reveal, and what is unfolding next may explain why your heart has been feeling that something important is drawing closer. My dear child, have you noticed that sometimes your spirit senses change before your eyes can see it? There are moments when something deep within you begins to stir, even though nothing around you appears different. You cannot explain it, yet you feel as if a new chapter is approaching. That feeling is not something to ignore. Just as the earth begins preparing for spring long before the first flower appears, your soul often recognizes a shift before visible evidence arrives. The waiting season has taught you many things, but one lesson stands above the rest: trust. Not trust in circumstances, not trust in appearances, but trust that your journey has meaning even when you cannot understand every detail. The truth is that many of the events taking place right now are happening beyond your sight. Conversations are occurring. Hearts are changing. Perspectives are evolving. The future is quietly moving toward you, one step at a time. Your soulmate is not the same person they once were. The experiences they have faced have changed them in ways they never expected. The disappointments taught them humility. The setbacks taught them patience. The moments of loneliness revealed what truly matters. Like gold refined through fire, parts of their character were strengthened through challenges they never would have chosen for themselves. There were times when they thought they had everything figured out, only to discover there was still much to learn. And through every lesson, they were being prepared for a deeper understanding of love, commitment, and purpose. What once seemed important no longer carries the same weight. What once distracted them no longer holds the same power. The person emerging from this season is wiser, stronger, and more aligned with the path they were always meant to walk. The rerouting of their destiny was not a mistake, it was a necessary part of their transformation. My precious one, the same is true for you. The storms you endured were never sent to defeat you. They were opportunities for your roots to grow deeper. A tree that survives strong winds develops a strength that calm weather alone could never create. In the same way, your struggles have built resilience within you. You have learned how to keep going when answers were scarce. You have learned how to hold on to faith when circumstances seemed uncertain. Most importantly, you have learned that your value does not depend on who stays or who leaves. Listen closely, because this message was meant for you. The season of preparation is leading somewhere. The long road has not been endless. Every lesson, every delay, and every unexpected turn has been guiding you toward a purpose greater than you can currently imagine. Stay with me, my child, because what comes next reveals why the timing of this connection is far more significant than you realize, and why the future may be closer than it has ever been before. My beloved child, there is a reason your heart has not been able to completely let go of hope. Even during the days when discouragement tried to convince you that nothing was changing, a small light continued burning within you. That light was never an accident. It remained because your spirit could sense that your story was still unfolding. Many times you judged your progress by what you could see, but destiny often works in hidden places first. Consider the way dawn arrives. The world does not move instantly from darkness to daylight. First, there is a subtle glow on the horizon. Then the shadows begin to soften. Only later does the sun fully appear. In the same way, the changes taking place in your life have been gradual, even if they seemed invisible. What is coming has been approaching for longer than you realize. The signs may have been quiet, but they have been there all along. Meanwhile, your soulmate has been experiencing awakenings they did not expect. Certain truths they once ignored have become impossible to overlook. Questions they avoided have demanded answers. Deep within their soul, something has been calling them toward greater authenticity. Like a traveler who suddenly realizes they have been following the wrong map, they have begun re-evaluating what truly matters. The things that once seemed essential are no longer satisfying. The connections that lacked depth no longer feel enough. They are starting to recognize the difference between temporary excitement and genuine purpose. This realization did not happen overnight. It developed through experiences, disappointments, and lessons that slowly opened their eyes. What appeared to be random events were actually stepping stones leading them toward a clearer understanding of themselves. Every reroute carried meaning. Every unexpected turn moved them closer to where they were meant to be. My child, do not underestimate what is happening during this season. A mountain is shaped by countless small changes that occur over time. Snow falls. Ice melts. Water flows. Wind blows. Individually, these changes seem insignificant, yet together they transform the landscape. The same principle applies to your life. Every prayer, every lesson, every act of faith, and every moment of perseverance has been shaping your future in ways you cannot yet fully see. I have been watching over every step. I have seen your courage when nobody else noticed it. I have seen your kindness when there was no reward for it. I have seen the strength it took for you to keep moving forward. Nothing has escaped my attention. The chapter ahead is being built upon everything you have learned and everything you have overcome. Hold your head high, my precious one. The path that once seemed uncertain is becoming clearer, and soon you will begin to understand why so many pieces had to move into place before this next season could finally begin. My dear child, there are moments in life when everything seems ordinary on the surface, yet beneath that calm appearance, powerful changes are already underway. This is one of those moments. You may wake up each day and feel as though nothing significant has happened yet, but destiny does not always announce itself with dramatic signs. Sometimes it moves quietly, like rain soaking into dry ground during the night. By morning, the landscape looks the same, but life has already begun to return beneath the surface. In the same way, unseen changes are taking place around you. The waiting season is not standing still. The story is not paused. What has been prepared for you continues moving forward, even during the days when you cannot feel it. Trust what your eyes cannot yet confirm. Trust the process that has been unfolding long before you recognized it. Your soulmate has been going through a season of realization. Old beliefs are being challenged. Long-held fears are losing their grip. Patterns that once guided their decisions no longer feel right. It is similar to a person standing at the edge of a forest after walking through darkness for many miles. At first, they only notice a small beam of sunlight breaking through the trees. Then another appears. Soon they realize they are approaching the edge of the woods and a completely new landscape lies ahead. This is what is happening within them. Their perspective is changing. Their priorities are shifting. The lessons they once resisted are becoming sources of wisdom. They are beginning to understand that some of the things they lost were never meant to remain, and some of the dreams that fell apart were only making room for something greater. The rerouting of their destiny was not taking them away from happiness, it was guiding them toward it. My precious one, I know there were times when you wondered if your journey had meaning. You questioned why certain battles lasted so long and why answers seemed slow to arrive. Yet every season has carried a purpose. Winter prepares the ground for spring. Night prepares the world for dawn. Even the strongest storms eventually pass, leaving behind a stronger and healthier landscape. Nothing you endured was meaningless. Every challenge strengthened your faith. Every disappointment deepened your understanding. Every delay taught you patience and resilience. The person you are becoming today could not have existed without the road you traveled yesterday. Listen carefully, my child. The future is not being built from luck or coincidence. It is being built from everything you have learned, everything you have survived, and every step you continue taking when it would have been easier to quit. Hold on to hope. The horizon is changing, and the closer you move toward your next chapter, the more clearly you will see that every detour, every closed door, and every unexpected turn was leading you exactly where you needed to be. My beloved child, one day you will look back on this chapter of your life and realize that what felt like confusion was actually guidance in disguise. Right now, you may only see scattered pieces. You may see unanswered questions, unexpected delays, and moments that still do not make sense. But a master artist does not reveal an entire painting with a single brushstroke. The masterpiece appears little by little. Each color is added at the right moment. Each detail serves a purpose. In the same way, your story has been unfolding according to a design far greater than what you can currently understand. The events that seem disconnected are part of a larger picture. The disappointments that once broke your heart are connected to blessings that have not yet fully arrived. What you thought was the end of something important was often the beginning of something even more meaningful. There is also something you need to know about timing. Human hearts often want immediate answers, but lasting transformation rarely happens overnight. A lighthouse is built to withstand storms before it can guide ships safely through darkness. Likewise, both you and your soulmate have been developing qualities that cannot be rushed. Compassion, wisdom, patience, and emotional strength take time to grow. There were lessons that each of you needed to learn separately before your paths could align in the way they were meant to. Had certain events happened earlier, neither of you would have been fully prepared for what was ahead. This is why some opportunities were postponed. This is why certain connections faded away. It was not because you were forgotten. It was because preparation was still taking place. The universe was not denying your future, it was protecting it until the proper season arrived. My precious one, I want you to release the burden of believing that you must force everything to happen. You do not have to carry the weight of controlling every outcome. Rivers reach the sea without anxiety. Flowers bloom without competing with one another. The stars shine without questioning their purpose. In the same way, your life is allowed to unfold naturally. Continue growing. Continue healing. Continue becoming the person you were created to be. Let peace replace fear. Let trust replace doubt. I have been watching over every step, even the ones you thought were unnoticed. The rerouting that took place in your soulmate's destiny was not random. It was part of a much larger movement that has been unfolding for a long time. And now, my child, the distance between preparation and manifestation is becoming smaller. The season is shifting once again, and what comes next may reveal just how close you truly are to the chapter your heart has been waiting for.